Hello, and welcome to Tim Talk episode number 2. Thanks for joining. This episode is coming to you during lockdown here in London during the COVID-19 pandemic. It's difficult days, it's dark days for all of us. I don't have to tell you that. But I wanted to focus this Tim Talk episode on good news, and I wanted to focus it on things that we can do, things that we can control both now, but I think more importantly to get ready for the coming economic recovery, which it will come eventually. I promise you that. It'll come in stages, but it will come, and we can take this time to learn some lessons from the past, but also take them and apply them to today and the future. So I wanted to cover those in this episode. I'll be pulling from concepts and ideas from my book, Solving the Productivity Puzzle, which comes out on Kogan Page in July 2020. You can pre-order that now. But let's dive down into some of the content from the book and put it in the context of our current situation in the COVID-19 pandemic. So similar to the 9/11 crisis, before the pandemic, the economy didn't have any significant problems. Both of these downturns, the 9/11 downturn and then the downturn we're seeing around COVID-19, are completely outside of the normal business cycle and are external shocks. Before, in both situations, there was a big hiring binge, right? In the late 1990s, low unemployment, lots of hiring. Same again here. For years, we've had very low unemployment, lots of hiring going on, and then suddenly a crisis happens, and then you have some of the highest unemployment we've ever seen. And that's the thing that we need to avoid. And I think, again, those companies that have the wherewithal, this is a very similar situation. Let's avoid that shedding of jobs. Let's take a look at how we can work with what we have today. So do something that I call PEIP, People Engagement, Innovation, and Performance. And it's a very simple equation, quote unquote equation, which is about getting the right people with the right skills in the right place at the right time with the right motivation. And that's something that we should be doing regardless of whether there's a crisis, but I think it's particularly important at the moment because as we get ready for the upturn, we need to work smarter. We've got to have the right people in the right place at the right time. And this will be really important. So let's take a look at that equation. So here's the exciting bit. So if you take PEIP, which is already working smart, and then you multiply it, as you can see here in this picture, by emerging technology, so artificial intelligence, machine learning, essentially humans harnessing the technology to make themselves more productive, more powerful. I think we have a very bright future ahead of us. I think we're going to see historical people productivity. We're going to see historical people engagement. And ultimately, we're going to see big improvements in GDP and in our standards of living. So it's a very positive view. It's a very positive future. And all we have to do is really take this equation for working smarter and apply it now. Don't wait for the crisis to be over. Use the crisis as an opportunity to start to put in place these disciplines. It's fantastic, and it's a great way to prepare for the future. So the PEIP equation we were just having a look at, it's really simple. In fact, if you go to your people team, they'll have a lot of the data. They'll probably have a lot of the processes to do these types of things, and typically what is called is strategic workforce planning. And that's really all I'm saying that we should be doing. Instead of looking to shed jobs, we should step back and say, right, okay, we've got this crisis. We've got a crisis in supply and demand in the workforce. Let's take a look at now, look out 6 months, 18 months, and see how many people we're going to need. Where are we going to need them? What type of skills they're going to need? And if you do that plan, and if you work with your people team on this, I think you'll quickly discover that you have enough of the right people at the moment, and you want to keep them. Because if you let them go, it's going to be a struggle to get them back. And that's what I mean by the hire fire binge. So when times are great, we go out and hire as many people as we can or we like. And then suddenly times aren't so great, and then we start shedding those people. And that is a destroyer of value. That's a destroyer of engagement in the organization. And it's just not smart. It's not working smart. So do a bit of strategic workforce planning, do PEIP, people and get people engagement, innovation, and performance, but do it now. Get ready for the upturn, and that's the whole idea. Tim Talks are in about 4 minutes or less, and will separate fact from fiction in a rolling series of engaging videos on the fast-changing world of work. Tim Talks will be posted about every other week, so tune in or subscribe on Tim's YouTube channel. Thanks.